Do you have a regular cadence of accountability? Do you meet with your team on a regular basis to make sure that you have the real pulse of your company? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Kirch. I'm creator of the Profit Minds Growth System, a unique blend of enhancing profits, accelerating productivity, and building business process for scale. Today, I want to talk about an incredibly effective way of making sure your company is on track. For the past couple of videos, I've been talking about creating a world-class company, and this is one of those essential elements. You need to have a meeting with your leadership team, those people that are responsible. Remember, I talked about the accountability chart? Those people who are responsible for the major functions in your company. And you need to sit down with them at the same time every week. It's probably an hour, maybe 90 minutes. And there's a very fixed kind of agenda that you need to follow with them. Because what you want to make sure is that you're tackling the most important issues. So the first thing you do is you get everybody gathered, and you know it always takes about 5 minutes to get everybody gathered and settled in. And while they're doing that, you go around and you ask everybody for a win, a personal win and a business win, a professional win. All right. Just go quickly around the room. Then the next thing is the scorecard review. In a previous video, I talked about KPIs and knowing your numbers. And this is where you're just looking at the KPIs and you're listing whether they are on track or behind, whether they've achieved their number for the week or not. You don't discuss it. None of these things for the first few times through the agenda here, first few items on the agenda, you don't discuss it. You just want to write it down. If it's below, you write it down. If it's on track or above, you don't do anything with it. The next is what we call the rock review. And the rocks are the key projects that you're going to be working on for the entire quarter. Those are the things that are really going to set you up for your 3-year goals. We've talked about that a number of times. Again, question is, on track? If so, it's fine. Don't talk about it. If it's at risk or behind, you can use your judgment. If it's behind, you got to put it on the list. You just list the issues. What you're doing is you're collecting all of the issues as you go through. Again, no discussion, just is it on track or not? Then headlines, right? This could be clients, this could be revenue, it could be employee issues, whatever, right? Headlines, right? A real quick one sentence. Again, no discussion. Somebody says something, you write it down. And then finally, you look at last week's to-do list. And the question is, done or not done? If it's done, you don't talk about it. If it's not done, you put it on the list. Then the next thing you do is you want to prioritize those issues. So each one of those steps takes about 5 minutes. And then you use the remainder of the time in the meeting to deal with the issues. First thing you got to do is make sure you're dealing with the most important issues first. And that's the reason you don't discuss them when you're writing them down, because you could get lost in the minutia of unimportant issues or less important issues. I'll tell you a real quick story. I was working with a company, it was actually in India, and this was in the midst of the COVID pandemic. And the biggest issue that came out of their meeting was that half of the team had to go home and deal with sick relatives. That was clearly the most important issue. Other stuff just didn't matter. So you got to deal with the most important issues first. So you take them in order and you identify what is the real issue. Then you discuss it and you figure out what has to happen to resolve it. Maybe it's just a communication to the rest of the team, or maybe there's some specific action which you then put on the to-do list. I hope this is helpful, but a cadence of accountability, having this meeting at exactly the same time every week, everybody knows they're expected to be there. Again, this is Dr. Stephen Kirch. I'm the creator of the Profit Minds Growth System, and I'd be happy to talk with you about this. Have a great day.